помогаете людям в самых-самых разных ситуациях.
People from different backgrounds approach you for help. Businessmen want stability and growth for their business. Young women dream of marrying well. Others want to solve stress problems. Someone else approaches you with crisis questions or asking about the meaning of life. Can you help all of them?
Какая технология? Как вам удается?
Actually, yes, I do get approached by lots of different people. Topics range from health to business. My goal is to find that one important thing that bothers that person deep inside. And when I find the area of concern, we find ways out of the situation. Sometimes we begin solving a totally different problem to what the client approached me with. But what might be blocking the client's ability to find solutions to some problems? You highlight the most important point of concern, which destroys a human life and does not allow the person to move on. Highlighting this point is very difficult. I know that, for example, psychologists sometimes need between a few months to a year of therapy in order to highlight the main issue and point of anxiety. They sometimes work a few times a week with 1-hour session with the client, raising important topics for discussions. Whereas you manage to find the issue within 1-2 visits. How do you do it? I will explain it to you. First, I scan the person, which allows me to see him or her on vibrational level. The effect is similar to electromagnetic waves on a television. I see vibrations coming from the person, which then transform into an image. When I see an image, I quickly question it in my mind and receive answers, unpacking the situation. Sometimes answers come quickly, sometimes takes a few minutes while the client speaks. The main thing for me is to tune into the vibration level of the person, and then it's followed by the images. Am I understanding it correctly that the stronger and tender the point situation which destroys the person, the stronger the situation vibrates and the more you can see it? Yes, I see it like paint. It can be white, black, or colored. But the range of colors can be saturated or barely marked. For example, darker and more saturated colors are more visible. The brighter the problem, the brighter the color on a vibrational level, regardless of the nature of the problem, and the more I see it. And yet, what kind of people are more likely to approach you? And why, in your opinion, do clients find you and come to you? I usually pray and ask the higher powers and God for assistance to send not only people whom I can help, but also people with whom we can communicate on the same level. Therefore, the percentage of clients whom I have worked with and helped is high. With approximately 98% of them I was able to help only because I asked God and higher powers to send me those who I can help. You help in a very unique way. Light language is very rare and not widespread in Russia. What happens when you begin to speak in light language to somebody? Do you speak directly to that person or do you address the higher powers? I think both. Before I begin each session, I call the divine powers, angels, archangels, ascended masters and spiritual guides of the person. Then an attunement occurs of many different vibrations. And light language is actually a translation of these vibrations to a sound.
Как часто нужно человеку обращаться к вам за помощью,
How
чтобы
often should a
решить
client
свой
contact you for help to find solution for his or her problem? For example, about financing a business project or a marriage question?
Это бы я отнесла к единичным вопросам, и они решаются,
I
как
would
правило,
address
за
them
один
as
сеанс.
individual
Но
questions,
иногда
and such issues are usually settled after one session. But sometimes a simple issue may hide another personal problem on a deeper level.
её можно видеть
And it
в
is
начале сеанса.
not always possible to see in the beginning of session, and if I see deep psychological roots behind the problem, more than one session will be required.
Во время сеанса.
Sometimes I give initiation during the session.
Когда я работаю с
I never know about it in advance. When I work with rays
очень часто я могу
and light language,
и
I often can translate receiving information.
мы поднимаемся в так
During
называемый
initiation,
света.
we go up to the so-called Temple of Light. And not only me, but also who receive the initiation, we understand what is happening during this session. Usually, people that receive initiation are masters, just their memories are not awake. And at the time of initiation, they suddenly have an awakening during the realization of who they are. We both going up to the Temple of Light, where the training at a very high vibration happening. And to be honest, sessions of initiation take a lot of my energy, and after 10-15 minutes have to take a break. Such high frequencies are hard on my physical body.
Правильно ли я поняла, что люди,
Do I
которые
understand correctly that people who have achieved some level of success in certain life aspects have fairly high energy and are capable to manage their own life? A master is not, for example, a person who can just build a figure, but someone who controls energy. Do you agree?
Мастер жизни – это человек, который
A
успешно
master
идет
is a
по
master
жизни.
at everything, a person who goes through life successfully. Sometimes we think that a spiritual person is someone who is into esoteric and spiritual practice. In my opinion, a spiritual person is someone who can develop and embody spiritual knowledge in everyday life. And when such people come to me, it's very nice to work with them.
как язык света, как вот
What
эти,
effect does light language and other practices that you use have on people?
То есть вот я к вам обратилась с
If
вопросом,
I
да?
approach you with a question, and you and I selected two main questions, for example, first, I'd like to obtain a sum of money for a new business project, and second, I'd like to get married. And you start a practice, you use light language, have a conversation with my soul and my spiritual guides. What happens then? What happens to me? What about my physical body and my environment?
Да, я поняла вопрос, спасибо. В первую очередь идет сонастройка ваших
I understand the
вибраций
question.
на
Thank
тот
you.
уровень,
Firstly,
там, где все сгармонизировано.
an attunement of all your vibrations occurs, where they tune into a level of harmony. When all your centers, chakras, are harmonized, success comes easy. People can sometimes be unsuccessful when they lack inner peace. When a person reached inner harmony and peace, the overall vibration is raised, and solving everyday things becomes easy. It turns out that this person begins to look at things from a different angle, and at the same time expanding consciousness when a person receives light language vibrations.